We left off with having our staff listed on the archive page, but it's all of their information right now. And I threw in a little longer information for one of my staff members, and as you can see, it makes it really long. My vision, my design for this is to have them 2 columns of just a cube with their picture and their name, and maybe their meta information, but then a link to their individual page. So that's what we're going to work on today, getting the content off this page and making sure it's on the single page. Getting the content off the archive page is very easy. There's just one command that puts it there. I want loop. It's right here. There's a div called entry-content. There's a function called the_content, and then the closing div. And we're just going to take that right out. The question is, how do archive and loop interact? Archive is this whole page. Loop is just the little template part that renders each person. So I took out the content, and now it's just not there. I deleted that entry content div. I want to mention some naming conventions for these functions. The content is a function that returns the content. It prints it to the screen. So if you run that function, it's there. There's another one called get the content, which does not return it to the screen. It just makes it available to you in a variable. So then you could store it for printing later, or you could parse it, or you could do any kinds of things with it. Most functions in WordPress that deal with content like this have that feature. Up at the top, you'll note there's one called the title, and the title is the thing that's printing the title. Well, if you do get the title, then it doesn't print it, it just returns it for it to load into a variable. But you make up a variable called dollar title. Yep. Yep. Dollar title equals get the title. The only one that is substantially different and annoying is the permalink. The other is get permalink. There's no the. Trips me up all the time. So we're going to take content right out of that. Then if you click on a person, it takes you to their single page. And there it is with a full-size image and the title and the content. No meta information, because this is using the default single page, which is, as far as they're concerned, a blog post. So similar to what we did for archive, if we want to get the meta, we need to get the meta and put it on there, adjust the image size. There's 2 ways we could go about this. We're going to make a single-staff.php. In there, we could just code up what we want. Or we could get template part loop-staff, and it'll look like a single from the archive. And we could re-edit that to say, okay, show the content, but only if we're on a single. The direction you go with that is kind of up to you. You duplicate code less if you reuse the loop option, but then your loop-staff gets a little more complicated. So you have to decide if you want more files with less complication in them, or fewer files that happen to be a little more complicated. And that is very much a philosophy question. It has to do with how comfortable you are with it. It has to do with how comfortable other people on your team are with it, or people who may follow after you. If you anticipate people following after you or the people you work with being awesome, then you can deal easily with more complicated files, because they'll open it up and go, oh, look, it's showing the content if it's singular. I'm really 50-50 on this. So the first thing we want to do is copy single to single-staff. Then as a test, I'm going to edit single-staff and just write something in the top and reload the page to see if I'm actually using this one. I wrote "Hi Don" in the top, and there it says "Hi Don." Hi Don. All right, so we're actually using single-staff. We know we're going to want our meta information, so similar to loop, at the top we're going to want the get post custom function. Just like that. And now all our custom information is available in $custom fields. So the question is, if you have multiple files that are simpler, but your templates are very similar, when you need to change something, you're going to have to change it in multiple places. And the answer is yes. There's an excellent case here. This single file, the default one, just pulls in the content template. So what I'm actually going to pull out is, well, you know what? I may not even do that. This class nav single provides a previous and next for your staff. So you could be looking at one person, and at the bottom there's a link to go to the next person. That's totally up to your design staff if you want a previous and next button. I'm going to pull it out just to make this simple. Yep. And I'm never, ever, ever going to want comments on the staff page. So I'm just going to pull out the comments template. So now we have a very, very simple template file. Right now, it's just going to get the content. Just for kicks, I'm going to change this to say loop staff, just like the other one. And we'll see what it looks like. And there we are. It's using the loop staff one, but it's only getting a single, so it just shows this one. So here's where we make the decision. Do we go take all of the most of the code from loop staff and copy it and paste it in here, or do we just go edit that one and say, if we're on a single page, show me the content? What's that? It's only kind of a question. This is the point where we decide if we go to loop-staff and copy most of the code and paste it in here, or if we go edit loop-staff and say, if we're on a single page, show me the content. There you go. Well, there's 2 votes for copying the code and pasting it in here. So you have to vote twice. Because of the way this theme is set up, I'm actually leaning toward editing the loop-staff file right now, because the complexity we're going to add is very minimal. So we already ripped out the content. So I need to go remember where the code is. So I'm going to look in content.php and go find where they pasted that content. Here it is. There's a block called entry content. And I'm just going to grab the HTML for it. You guys following that one all right? Right now I'm in content.php, the default original one. Then I'm going to edit loop-staff.
You just grab that from content and now you go on to loop.
Yep. And I don't want the link pages. So now I'm back to having. I didn't even do the is single code yet. Right now I'm just grabbing the whole entry content. And we'll talk about the is single function in a little bit. So that puts the content back in, which we like on the single. It also puts it back in on the archive. So what we need to do is run a little test to say, are we on an archive or are we on a single? And there are actually two different good tests for that. So right above the entry content, I'm going to break into PHP, and I'm actually going to use a function called isSingular. If is singular, and then you can put in the type of the content type you have. There, just like that. Throw in some good comments. Check to see if we're on a single staff member. There's a function called isSingle, which is another conditional statement. IsSingle would probably tell you if you're on a single staff member. I'm not sure, but it's on a single anything. So you could be on a single post, a single page, a single department, whatever. IsSingular says, do this if I'm on a single staff member. Let me cursor down so it's higher up on the screen. So below your content area, you do a closing bracket for that one. And in fact, I can comment that. Close test for single staff member.
You have to essentially use the div class that we have just put in there.
Exactly. So now I'm going to go do a test to see if that works. So I am currently on a single. I reload. Do I see my content? Yes, I do. And on my archive, I reload and no content. There we are.